Hi, today we're going to look at Digital Patterns Lesson 2, and of course, as with all Lesson 2s, you really need to watch Lesson 1 first before you kind of watch this video. So if you've not watched Lesson 1 on Digital Patterns, please go back and watch it first, because it's really important that you understand the concept I'm getting at with these digital patterns. Now, as I said in video 1, this concept was given to me by Chris Potter, but there are also a number of other teachers and educationalists and jazz players who will talk about this concept of 4-note cells, they will say, rather than digital patterns. In the book Expanding Your Jazz Vocabulary, there is a whole section at the back of the book of 4-note cells, which is the digital pattern kind of thing. And that guy kind of works on who those 4-note cells kind of correspond to. But today I've kind of got this combination pattern together, and we're going to look at just a few of them. Now, the sheets are coming now, and the sheet is available for you to download on the lesson plan. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play through each of these patterns, and I'm going to talk about what's going on. So the first one is you're taking two digital patterns. We're taking 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8, 4, 5, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 5, we'll do it in C major to keep it nice and simple. And 8, 4, 5, 3. Sorry. Okay, can you hear that? 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 5, 3. That's because I got ahead of myself and looked at number 2 and played a D flat. So what you can do is you change one of the digital patterns. So I'm going to change the second digital pattern. So rather than having 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 5, 3 in the same key, we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 5, 3 and play the 8, 4, 5, 3 a minor second, a semitone, higher than the first one. So we get this. And you'll see on the sheet how I've labelled them. The D flat is the flat 9 of C. The G flat, although technically a flat 12 in this situation, really is the sharp 11. And then the A flat governs the flat 13. So it's useful to be thinking, if I ever land on like a C7 flat 13 chord, now those of you that are doing the Autumn Leaves know that you've actually got an E7 flat 13 in there. It's useful to think, okay, whoa, what's a flat 13? And it really messes with your head. Whereas actually if you think, okay, I can play a digital pattern a semitone higher than the key I'm in, and I'll end up hitting those juicy notes, those flat 9, and particularly if the flat 13's there, you want to be making sure you make a point of it. It's somewhere in your solo. So I'm then going to move down to number 3, which is 8, 4, 5, 3 has been moved now a major second above the 1, 2, 3, 5. The 1, 2, 3, 5 pattern continues in C major, and so we get this. Slightly more open, slightly more sort of out there a little bit, okay? I'm going to pop my glasses on to play the next one, okay? So the next one is a minor third, okay, which kind of creates a sort of diminished effect to it. Okay? And then with these perfect fourth ones, you can see that what I've done, I've taken them down an octave. You could play them up the top. But when I was working on them, I thought, actually, they sound really, really good if I just drop that 8, 4, 5, 3 down an octave. I know technically it's not 8, 4, 5, 3 anymore. You know, effectively it's 7. Sorry, it's 4 and 7 under the score 1, 6. But I don't know. It kind of sounds better like this. So if I'm thinking in C, of course, I'm thinking in F. It's 8, 4, 5, 3, but down an octave. You hear the difference in that sound? Okay, so that was 8, 4, 5, 3 in F, but preceded by 1, 2, 3, 5 in C. And finally, you'll see you've got 1, 2, 3, 5 in C, and then 8, 4, 5, 3 in the key of F sharp, which is a tritone or an augmented fourth away from the C. If you're not sure about tritones, maybe put a comment in the bottom, and we need to maybe talk about that in lessons. And watch out, probably in January, I'm going to be offering a new course, the Cambridge Theory Programme. Okay, and I'm going to do similar sort of thing in the saxophone lessons, and I'll give the saxophone students a discount. But we're going to talk about music theory, and particularly jazz theory, and we'll probably do a similar kind of thing. So here is 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 5, 3 tritone apart. Again, I've kept that down the octave rather than going. I just think it could play it like that. I mean, it sounds quite modern, but I just think it flows melodically more when it's next to each other. And that's down to the core voicings, voice leading and those kind of things. So, of course, now you've done that, you then, of course, can flip them round. So you still keep to 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 5, 3, but then move the 1, 2, 3, 5. So you'd get you'd keep 8, 4, 5, 3 in C, and then well, let's change that to D flat. You get my point? So you change the first one and keep the second one the same. Okay? And then think how many digital patterns I talk about just in that first lesson. Okay? You can start to see why there is hours and hours and hours of practice material available to you with just simple concepts. So, how to practice this, how to apply it. First thing you do what I've done, of course. And then remember there are 12 keys. Okay? So, of course, you need to be able to practice those digital patterns in all 12 keys and do those combinations. Starting to see how it starts to take a long time. But the journey of 1,000 steps or 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And take the first step. Do not be intimidated by how much there is to know. Take the first step, because if you don't take the first step, you're never going to go. Let's see where the journey takes you. The second thing is to make sure you then get it into pieces. So I was working with a few students this morning. We were looking at applying just the simple diatonic in the same key, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 5, 3 pattern over a set of chord changes. We chose Autumn Leaves as that's our group project at the moment. But you could choose anything. And if you really want to push the boat out and you really want to, if you're a really advanced player, you might want to try and do this over giant steps. I've done that before, where you just take these 2 cells and play them over the giant steps changes, and it really opens things out. Because in his solo, Coltrane does quite a little bit of those, particularly the 1, 2, 3, 5 pattern. So you can see. Now, don't spend too long on it because it can be quite laborious, but you want to make a start on it. I do this, probably I'd do my scale practice, or I'll do my long tones, I'll do my scales, and then I'd maybe look at something like this and spend 10-15 minutes just taking 2 keys maybe per day, and then spread those keys out over the week. Hey presto, you're going to nail the keys. Any questions, any comments, please put them in the box below. Please make a start on this. No matter what level you're at, you need to start thinking about digital patterns, 4-note cells, because we come across them so much and they're so helpful when you're soloing.